Hello everybody, welcome back to Motorsport Manager. Time to head into the second half of the 2018 season. And we're back to a decent, if not particularly overwhelming, lead after AMG sort of messed up their pit stop strategy in the last one. Now we are going to have Hughes with the bonus to his driving ability as a Tondela expert, so we're going to start getting some payoff from that. And we'll hope that Szabo doesn't have another rough outing and we can continue to expand that lead. 12 hours. Szabo, he's already whining about parts, is he? Claiming their spoiler is holding the team back. I'm going to tell him to be quiet. You need to button it. And once again, close to our fastest time, but not quite. Hughes with the top prize. Mortara in second, and then Nagy. Let's take a look at our pit crew. Got to refresh myself what we're looking for. We got 14s on the front jack and on the rear jack, but we wanted more tire people. Defonte burnt out. I've never seen that before. Must just mean he wants a race off. Anyway, we're looking for definitely anybody that can give us a 13 on the tires. Ooh. Okay, so we don't want you. We're definitely hiring you. 17 on front and rear jack, and then a 16 on the rear. But yeah, both of you are coming in. Now, you got low stamina there. Much better stamina here. And then, yeah, I don't want either one of you, but there's a 16 on the front jack. We're going to hire you as well. So we're not really getting the tire people that we want, but we are getting some definite good people. This is another step up for us in the crew that we have access to, that's for sure. 17 on front and rear jack for Fedeschi. Yeah, so I think we want Del Rosario out on the front. And then as often as we can do it, we will put Fedeschi out on the rear. See, that's a significant drop in our time, a couple tenths overall there. And then Bogdan can help us some on the tires, and then some also in that rear jack position as Fedeschi's backup. We're going to have to alternate there every other race. For now, put him out there instead of Defonte. We're definitely going to be getting rid of some people here, that's for sure. Okay, we need to get Weber out. We'll go with Izzo. We got 73 and 77. So I think I want to just swap these out for freshness. So I don't think we want both of these. We may end up wanting one. We're definitely going to get rid of Lewicki here. And I really think I'm going to be able to alternate those two. So I'm going to get rid of you both. And I don't even know, like, I'm just curious what burnt out does. It doesn't tell me. It's not giving me any sort of indicator of what he's losing. Mistake chance isn't particularly high, as you might think it'd be. So I don't know what effect that has, but it would seem it'd be a bad thing to have a burnout guy out there working. But anyway, we've got 4 tire backup people. So we're not where we want to be on that. And then on the front jack, we can get rid of one of you. And Kazmarzik, you are the weak link. Okay. So some very nice stuff there. Not there yet on the telemetry center, although it's coming. And we're working on that suspension, and I think moving on to the spoiler after that. BRC has upgraded their design center. And our repairs are done. Tondela, the gearbox is the most important, followed by engine and brakes. We do need a bit more reliability on that gearbox. I just want to keep these out here for now. We'll have the new suspension done by the time these are finished. So I think I just want to leave that as it is. And do we want to put anything up for the vote? And the 1 million again, and we're going to reject it because I think we're going to get promoted. Why would we spend $1 million on a vote that we're not going to benefit from? So we'll just keep right on rolling. And there's our suspension. We've got some scouting. Danica Patrick is a pay driver. Expert at Yokohama, crashes a lot. And is annoyed with their mechanic. Negative feedback in practice. Interesting. Doesn't want to race in the WTCR, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. So she's one of the ones that we're apparently going to face off up in the DTM. Here's our new suspension. Maxing out at 419. And I think that was a max one. Alright, so we are going to move on to the spoiler, the last part we haven't hit yet. We'll definitely start off with that. And it looks like we're going to have a 2 design race. Okay, this is up to 92%. We don't need you anymore. Let's throw this suspension out there and get that ready for the race if we can. 11 days is what we have. We can max it out before the race. So if it takes 17 days to get it to 100%, I think we're going to want to be at about 14. And these will finish up before the race, so we'll go ahead and throw out the suspension there with it. These, of course, being so close to max that I'm not worried about the fact that most of the effort's going to go into the suspension. So there's our next new part that we're going to get out there, and pretty soon we're going to be working on the secondary ones, but I'm going to have to wait and see. Pretty soon we'll need to decide like which parts we're going to go for the second full one on. We have a second full engine right now, but that is it. And we're up to 67%, tracking pretty well. Happy with being in first place, as you should be, Eduardo Mortara. Very nice, but low marketability. Still one heck of a driver. And it's telling us to pound sand. Okay. Tondela, 49 laps. It's a short track. Expected to be dry. Acceleration, and we have the best gearbox around. Beautiful. You can get some rain in qualifying, but not during the race, is what they say. Adrian Tambay. No permanent stuff here. Good driver, but also very expensive. And again, doesn't want to slide down to the WTCR. So now that we're taking a look at the drivers at the next level, you can see these are not exactly world-class drivers. Got in the 3.5-star range. If we were to get even 4-star drivers, we'd be looking pretty good up there. So we don't need to upgrade that much. And look at all of our bars. Second, first, second. The spoiler down in 9th, but that's it. And then it still says we're 9th overall. That calculation is just messed up. It's just wrong at this point. Or else the part ones are wrong. And Zolt Sabo wants a test track. Nope. What I think is, nope, not yet. Nico Mueller. Solid, not spectacular. And our spoiler is ready. So let's design a new one. And yep, no other options. So that'll take us up to 446. Another 500k, not much. And let's see where we're at here. We're at 353 and 236 presently. It looks like this is going to be about where we want to be. I'm just going to bump it up a little bit here to make sure we get, excuse me, to 90%. With only 3 days left, I just feel like it's not going up quite fast enough. 86% with a day to go. They still say we're ninth and below average. 94%. Okay, so just do the just in case brakes out there again and switch everything over to performance. And it's time to get that stuff out on the track. Now, let's see, where is our suspension? If I switch hues to the better... Nope, that's the spoiler. There we go. If I switch hues to the better one, is that going to tick everybody off? No. So I think that's where we're going to go with. Predicting third for himself and only 15th for Szabo. Of course, I'm sure it's factoring in Hughes's being great at that track. But I've never had anybody predicted that high. So very good. It's going to be 34 on race day, so that would definitely be soft tires rather than supers. Prefer mediums. But we will see if that fits with the length of the race. Okay, so we'll definitely have Szabo and Svaneborg as always. Even though Hughes has a +2 to everything, it's still not enough to make him one of our better practice drivers. And I do think we need to work on the super softs for qualifying and for starting the race quickly. If it's a 49 lap track, yeah, could potentially go for a double soft. So, what about Svaneborg? Is she? Oh, actually, she would have higher smoothness. Oh yeah, she does have really high smoothness. See, if we wanted to go with for one stop, we could do that. I just think that we're more front running enough now that we'll accept the 2 stops and start on supers. I think we're going to more of a classic approach given the speed of the car. So, that's what I'm going to go with at any rate. Super softs. Definitely want to get the weight to the front for her. That looks reasonable. Both of them will have to switch over, and we should be able to max out our trim, I would think, on this track, even though both drivers not looking too stellar. At least they're improving a bit, but given that it is a short track. Cutting off, of course, that whole loop over there. Yeah, and both of them doing solid and improving now, so can't complain about this. Svaneborg making the pass. Well, did. Switches back on the next turn. And wants more oversteer. They continue to switch back and forth. And more weight in the back for Szabo. We'll back off a bit on the tires. And I think we'll come in here. So we're looking pretty good. And we just hit level 1. So I think we should be able to hit level 3 and make a couple stops. It could be pushing it a bit, but it's what I'm going to try for. So there's too much weight at the front, but I think you're wrong because there's not enough room to push it very far in that direction. We'll say that both drivers are going to want more oversteer. And I'm going to go with acceleration based on the kind of track that we're dealing with here. Let's go there. Same tires. %85 here. You did say more oversteer. Then we'll go with just a bit more acceleration. Just try that. Quick change, and we're back out again. 4th and 5th for our times in the early going. No sign of rain. It's getting cooler. Likes the cornering. Both drivers happy with the changes overall. Szabo at 10. Svaneborg down to 5. Szabo wants to change up the handling, and we just did make the level 2. Question is, do we have enough time to come in and make any more changes and still make level 3? And it's close, so I'm going to stay out. I want to make sure that we get that. I'm going to bet that we can make the proper changes in qualifying, but I want to make sure we get our level 3 for the race trim and that we can perform well on Sunday. Lots of cars out working on the soft tires, and we're not going to be one of them. Again, hoping that we're going to be able to stick up at the front of the pack at the beginning. You know, we could come in here, but there's not really enough time. If I had about another 30 seconds or so, I would probably do that. So, we got in one set of adjustments. We hit level 3. And we had competitive, if not better, times in practice overall. But again, going up against soft tires, so we'll see how much that actually means in the next session. And in terms of the AMG drivers, well, we've got Lucas Auer down in 12th. And Scheider down in 18th. So they seem to be struggling a little bit more early on, but then they have done, you know, they've been strong in the races. It just seems that they don't do too well in practice. Anyway, on to qualifying. So we've got a couple of qualifying drivers excited about getting their turn to practice. And a fan hating on Mulsanne. That's about it here. And here's our rain. We had predicted rain for qualifying, and we've got it. Question is, how long is it going to last? What say you, weather forecasters? Okay, it's not going to last that long. It's going to taper off later, which is actually perfect for us because we can get ready with our start and stops and firm up our setup. And then we'll be ready later on in the qualifying where it'll be dry and we'll go to set a serious time. At least that'll be the goal. So, up to 90%. And we moved the handling the wrong way. So, maybe between the L and the I there. So there or there. And let's move these back into place. Yeah, we can't come back any further than this. So I think that means... Let's see, what if we did this? Yeah, that would be right in place, but then we'd have to... I don't think that's far enough. So if I come... Like, that's where I want to be. Yeah. That's what I'm going to go with right there. Then, of course, we will go out on inters. That's Szabo. What about Hughes? 94%. Great across the board. So we went on cornering. We went from good to great. Let's bump down the speed a little bit more there. And I'm going to guess a little bit more oversteer. Let's try more acceleration. That's probably a bit much there. We'll go with that. Almost forgot to change tires. Go with inters as well. We will need to change tires later, but that's for a different time. Right now, we just want to get everybody out there. We're going to start getting some grip after a couple minutes. It's also going to cool off. So we're getting a nice hot rain. Let's not forget to bring them in. And on this track, I should be able to do this twice. Okay, we're right on the button. So we have no need to go anywhere for Szabo. What about Hughes? Hughes is not ready. Okay, now we have hit the cornering on the head. Now we've got okay, great, and good. So we want to actually take the handling down some. And then we're great, great, and great. So we still have not found the sweet spot. Maybe in between those two. Gonna try that. Let's go about there. And that's about right. This is probably a bit far. Nope, other way. Okay, I'm just going to try that, see how close that is on the handling. I think that's the one that I want to lock in next. At the moment, Raquelme trying to set the pace out there. We're not too concerned about that. Looks like it's going to be dry. We don't need to learn anything. Your setup is perfect, Szabo. Be nice if your form would stop diving through the floor. Okay, we're close. 98%. We did get this. The handling isn't quite there. It is okay. So great, good, and still great. So this is great, and this is great. And I don't know which way to put it. Maybe just a slight bit more understeer. And honestly, since we're at 98%, I'm just going to say, you know what? I'm going to settle for it. Might be able to make it the slightest hair better, but I'm going to settle for it. Now, when do we want to go out? And I think I'm going to send Szabo out at about 3 minutes. Hope he does well, but I'm prepared for the eventuality for sure that he doesn't. Because his form is continuing to fall. And now we'll send out Hughes. Form not as high as it was, but still looking good. And Hughes looking a little tight on time. I might have waited a little bit too long to get him out there. Probably not, though. I think we've got a decent gap in between them. Szabo's form coming up. That's good. Doggone it. Messed up Szabo's tires. So it just has not been a great beginning for him. But I did barely keep Hughes within the margins. Oh, and now it's raining again. Super. We did not see that coming. So this is just not a good qualifying session for us. Szabo is actually ahead of the winning pace here. Nobody else doing really well with the weather either, though. You see, the winning time is on inters. So this is a qualifying session that's not going to tell us much about the race, but Szabo ahead of the pace, and so is Hughes. So despite the errors, could have sent drivers out earlier if I'd have known that was coming. Despite the errors, we are still looking good. And Szabo wins it by over a second. Because there isn't enough water to totally derail it. And I think Hughes is going to beat that time. And indeed he does. So we are the front row. Thank you, weather, because weather is what did it for us. It wasn't anything else. The margins don't matter, but we're up by quite a bit. So we don't really know how competitive we're going to be with the other cars. We do know we're starting at the front. Hughes will be tough to catch, and can we convert it into a race win, says Martin Haven. Gonna try. They predicted Huff to be on pole. Not the best position there, not the best prediction. So we got the first half of our bonus, and here we're going to be going for the second half. And more importantly, to try to extend our lead. And we will go with super softs and race trim. Race trim and the tire changes. We'll keep our setups as they are. Going with fresh super softs. And depending on how those work, I might be able to get away with 2 super softs and a soft. We have no sign of rain. I think Hughes would probably prefer to do a super soft and 2 softs. But Szabo is going to use the super soft bonus, so he would probably want 2 of these. So I may end up doing them a little bit differently. And then Hughes would just, you know, run those softs hard, whereas Szabo would have to be a little more cautious. They both have the same amounts, having similar smoothness. Okay, so Szabo, you're just going to push. And then we'll go more aggressive for Hughes. And of course, we'll be backing off both of those very early. That's just for the start of the race. We're in the front row. Suri and Decker behind. And let's see, we've got Auer and Shader way back there, which is great. Szabo pushing forward to the lead. He doesn't care. Look at that. Four and a half and 6, so not particularly great stats-wise. Alright, we're going to come down to push now with Hughes. The nice gap between Suri and Decker, so it's just Suri here who is threatening us. And getting by Hughes. And Hughes will now drop back to neutral. And I might as well do that with, there's a decent gap. Well, no, Gazabo's under pressure here. That's probably not wise. Go back to push for now. I just want to try to keep Suri off if I can. Doesn't look like I can, though. Looks like we're going to lose it. I've got to switch soon anyway. I think we're going to lose it on this turn. Yep. Okay, we're going to go back down to neutral. Both drivers switch to high on the gas. And I think there's enough of a gap behind us that we can go to conserve right away. I'd expect Suri was going to pull away. And then we will sort of be in our own area here where we can recover the tires. At the moment, Comtoyu looking the best. We would have, well, the best of our competitors. We would still expand our lead considerably over AMG, who's getting nothing. Although Shader is up to 10th. Our all the way down to last, having a horrible start. And I think he's the best racer in this field, which is really weird that he's down there. Now I'm just going to let Szabo and Hughes do their thing. Benani and Huff collide, and they're both being investigated. And they're both cleared. So I think I want to keep Szabo about the middle of the road in terms of wear. And Hughes annoyed at being behind Szabo, and then Hughes is really going to push it. Because he's going to go pit a little bit earlier and get a couple softs. Not sure if that's best, but that's the way I'm going to play it. So having a little bit of an off-kilter, not symmetrical pit strategy is going to be interesting. Giovanardi runs into Oriola and is cleared. So no actual penalties so far. Decker trying to come up behind us now. And I am going to switch medium and neutral on both drivers and just take a look at our fuel usage for this lap. Doesn't look like that's going to be enough for Hughes to hold it off. Maybe it will. Close so far. Hughes and Decker continuing to battle. Now I'm going to let Hughes go a little more. It's too late. Decker just looks faster. And also, Szabo's not driving well, and Hughes driving solid, but Mortara's got a drive-through penalty. Okay. So based on our usage here, I think we can afford to get up to about 2 seconds, 2 laps ahead. So let's go ahead and switch back to high conserve. And I'm going to keep Szabo on conserve for a while. He's going to pay for that, but I don't see much choice. Decker clearly faster, and it's just a question of time as Szabo's driving continues to fade. There we go. And I think it's a good time to speed things up a bit. Benani and Giovanardi. And not even an investigation there. We've slipped to 3rd and 4th, but ours in 22nd. Shader is in 9th. So we are dominating AMG, and that's all that really matters at this point. I don't see anybody else being consistent enough to challenge us over the second half of the year. Weather is still going to stay the same, hot, up and down a little bit, and we've got this mostly partly cloudy thing going on. No rain, most importantly. And now Nagy coming up on us from behind. I think Hughes is faster. I'm going to let him go neutral, see if he can get by Szabo here. I don't think I want to use any team orders. I think I just want to let them race. Keep them within their strategies, but otherwise just let them race. There goes Hughes trying to get around the side. I think he's got it. So Szabo back to 4th, and Hughes will look to pull away. Back off to conserve for a bit. So only 29 points to us, but nobody is doing better. And I think this is a good point now to back off on the fuel. I don't think we can afford to burn much more. Of course, we'll revisit that later in the race. Morbidelli is our first pit stop customer, lap 12. Looks like we're going to get plenty of run out of the tires. So I'm going to go ahead and switch up to neutral there with Szabo. Now Hughes driving poorly as well. So just not a great race so far for our driver form. Having to rely mostly on the car, which thankfully is quite strong at this point. Decker coming in. And some others. So we're up to 2nd and 3rd. And I think we're going to end up pitting at the same time on this one. Question is, do I want to do it this lap or do I want to wait? And since we're going to be pitting twice, yeah, I don't see the reason to wait. Let's just go ahead and come in now. Well, I definitely don't want them both coming in at the same time. So we'll have Hughes come in now for his second set of softs, supers. Or no, he's going with softs. So he'll come in for softs. And then Zabo will come in the next lap. Which means I want to back him off to conserve. Didn't plan that well. And oh, look at the 4-second mistake on Hughes by Jessica Izzo. Yuck. That's not going to help us. You're going to switch to supers. Yes, 4-second plus mistake. And Hughes slides all the way back to 14th, is driving badly, and all manner of bad things going to happen to him now. So, yeah, that definitely could have gone better, to put it mildly. Hopefully Izzo has gotten over that mistake. That's his front right tire. And no errors there. 11.5 seconds. We'll come out in neutral. And Zabo slides out. Looked like he was going to run into somebody. We're 3 wide here. Hughes is moving up. There's Zabo splitting a couple cars up to 16th. I think Hughes just moved up by virtue of other people pitting. Looking to get around Chris Richard and might finally have it here. Being on the inside of this turn, come on. Didn't get as much out of that as I'd hoped. He can stay alongside though. There we go. Might even get 2 out of this one. Only 1. Okay, he's up to 11th though. Zabo in 16th as we gradually work our way up through the field. And Hughes up to 9th with more cars pitting. But both drivers driving absolutely abysmally here. That is just rough. And I still think we're going to have a quality race here. We're probably still... The Scheider's up in 3rd, our 13th. We would lose some. We're probably still going to have the lead and extend the lead in this race. But boy, is it not what it could be. Look at this. Hughes is going to get passed by Nagy, who has better tires. And I just need these guys to pick it up and start racing better. Lots of little things going wrong here in Tondela. Looks like it's going to be a race that we survive, not one that we have spectacularly positive feelings about. In terms of the next stint, I think I want to get Hughes to about lap 32. And Zabo maybe about lap 30. Roughly. Zabo trying to get past our, which would be a very nice pass for us. Put him down another spot. We've got the tire advantage. See if we can use this before I have to go conserve. I'd really like to get this pass. I think we're going to have it here. Oh, our maintaining speed on the outside. Neither driver able to win this, and I'm burning the tires here, but I really want this. Okay, we're going to slide in front here. I'm going to call it good and go conserve. Whereas Hughes is in 10th. Won't be too much longer before we start seeing some of the other drivers come in that are on soft tires. Be interesting to see how many of them try to go with a one-stop strategy and how that plays out. Tenth and 12th, but they only have Shader in 4th, and ours still 14th, well out of the points. But it does look like AMG is going to go for that one-stop strategy and probably succeed in doing it. Szabo is slowly sucking slightly less, but Hughes continues to falter. Continues to get worse and worse and worse. This was supposed to be a star track for him. Mr. Tondela expert is stinking it up. But he still has better tires than Huff and is trying to put them to use here. And I think we're going to have it. Yep, this might be a good place to go up to neutral. In comes DuPont. Eighth and 12th now as we gradually move up. Hour down to 15th. Hughes under pressure from Huff. Boy, and who was that? Else was that was going by? Yeah, that was DuPont. Okay, but DuPont's on fresh tires. I'm not worried about that. In comes Giovinardi. Oriola's going to pit and repair. Ninth and 11th. And if Hughes could drive worth a darn, he would be making some hay here. But he can't. So that's where it is. Szabo, I'm going to push you to neutral, see if you can hang on. As Berman is pressuring and then passing. And there's more from behind with Benani, who's going to be pitting soon. Yeah, let's switch back to conserve now. And we're going to start seeing some more drivers pit soon. I'll slow it down. Hughes up to 3.9, Szabo up to 4.8. So it would appear that they're starting to pull out of their long morass, their deep dive into the dumpster. We're going to see a bunch of cars coming in, but then won't be too much longer after that that we're going to come in again. It'll be very chaotic here for a bit. Nope. You just got to race better. Now I am going to give you some rope with the neutral. Let's see what you can do here. Fuel-wise, I think if anything, we're going to be a little bit short. But we'll see. We got a little ways further to go before we can make any great determinations on that. Szabo right there off the bumper. This could be the pass. Unable to really clear, but did manage to switch to the top of the track. Berman went outside and that didn't work out. Okay. So back to conserve. We are now 5th and 7th. This will only last a few laps. Hughes with a nice gap on Richard, but well behind DuPont. If he manages not to have a screw-up in the pits, he should at least be able to get up to 3rd behind Decker and Suri. It's a big if, though. That's definitely a long-term plan. Okay, Hughes is up to average. Szabo above average. And has lost the spot to Berman. That battle just won't go away. Szabo, I didn't catch that soon enough. Trying to battle back against Auer, and I might be able to here. There we go. That'll be helpful. I'm going to give you this lap and one more, and then you're coming in. You're going to come in on lap 30. Let's go ahead and use some more tire here with Hughes, as Richard is coming up behind. Szabo holding off Auer for the moment, who then comes into the pits. Go ahead and go conserve. And you're not going to have any tire left after this lap anyway. And they figure he'll come out in 20th. Yikes. And Hughes now with a big gap behind him. No reason not to go conserve for just a bit. He's caught up a fair amount to DuPont and Nagy. I think Nagy's tires, being super soft, are starting to wear. And Szabo coming in for final pit stop of the day. It's a good one. And out in 21st. Right behind our. Now some of these cars are going to pit, but a good number of them aren't. Zob will be hard pressed to get any points for us today, I think, unfortunately. Hughes up to 7.6. Really starting to turn it on. Zabo trying to get by here. That is, okay, we've got one driver coming into the pits, but he was attempting to get by Banani, which didn't happen. And neither one of those cars are going to pit again, so if he can make that pass, it would hopefully be a permanent one. He's up to 6.6, so he's driving better as well. Continues to work on it. And I think we got it here. Okay, up to 19th. Morbidelli probably comes in, so his next target's going to be Auer, up in 17th. And meanwhile, we've got Hughes going a lap further than I intended. He's coming around here for 33. And then he'll come in again. I could just try to ride these out and do another group of super softs, but temperature fits these better. I'll go with solid and reliable. Zabo trying to get another spot. Morbidelli, and then Banani coming back to challenge, so he lost a position instead of gaining one. I'll have to go back to work. And conserve a bit here, so he just needs to be a little bit more consistent back there in order to really move up this whole pack here. Banani locks up, and that gives us the pass. Meanwhile, Hughes is in the pits, and I believe that's going to be a record-setting stop for us at 6.14. Just slides into a pack there as he comes out. 5th and could have easily dropped to about 7th and is right behind Shader. Here we go. This could get interesting. A significant amount of points on the line there if Hughes can get by Shader or if he can't. Because that's going to be for 3rd position in this race. And Martin, the next target now for Zabo. Auer has moved up further. So it's looking like both of our drivers just sort of sitting right behind one of the AMGs. In both cases, we have somewhat fresher tires. We're both on the same tires. Both on our last stint and just trying to finish up. Hughes looking a little bit faster than is Scheider. Can he make the pass? If he's going to, it's got to be soon. Is that it? Pulls ahead. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to stay on neutral for as long as I can with him and try to extend out. But that is a big, big pass, and here comes DuPont. That's going to give us 3rd position. Zabo up to 16th. 2 spots behind Auer and not that far time-wise. 2 seconds. But that position will not matter nearly as much. And you see he was already up of over 2-second lead. So that's looking very strong. We're going to back off to conserve now. It's going to be close, but I think we're going to have to back off the gas later, too. It doesn't look like we're going to make it. Szabo up to 15th with another pit, but I don't think he's going to get any more pits. That's it. He's 15th unless he makes some passes here. I don't quite have enough tire, otherwise I'd send him after Martin. Hughes losing some time. Not a great deal. Oh, Decker coming in. I was not expecting that. But still gets back out in time. Suri probably going to have to come in as well. Race leader Suri. Decker probably the winner. If Suri comes in, Hughes might be able to catch him. Interesting. Okay, so let's take a look back here in Szabo where the action is, and I think we've got enough to give this a whirl. Just going to see how this battle goes. In comes Suri on the other end. Come on, Szabo. Do something. Get by. And yeah, that's the wrong side to be on. Switch to the inside. There you go. Pulls around the turn. Martin accelerating a little better. Now Szabo fighting back. Gets just ahead, but then outside of that turn. Looks like we've got it, though. It's a long battle, but I think we've got it if we can just hold this. Boy, Martin not giving an inch. But Szabo now just over a second behind Auer. So if he can hold off Martin and work his way on Auer, he could ensure that nothing happens here. Although, like, to get any points, we're still about 5 seconds back with 10 laps to go. So I just don't see that happening. Switch to conserve. Meanwhile, Hughes driving absolutely perfectly at the moment in third position. Suri held on to the lead. It just closed things up a bit. So unless we get caught by DuPont on fresher tires, and I don't think that's going to happen, then we're in third, and this is where we're going to finish. And where would that put us? We gained 7 points on AMG. Comtoyu would be the big winners. Ivan Muller would do well. They were going to be tied for third. But that's just a bunching up of the challengers behind us. It would extend our lead, which is nice. And yeah, Hughes 4 seconds up. Szabo is where the thing is. 14th position, trying to catch Auer in 13th. Right now I'm just cooling off the tires and hoping to get close enough to make a run at it. And also just trying to watch the fuel. And we are gradually, getting the fuel closer. I just don't know if we're going to get it close enough. It's going to go down to the last few laps when I've got to make a call on that. So Auer has closed the gap, even on conserving the tires. And part of that's Auer's right behind Berman there. So we just need to hang on until we've got enough tire to make a run at this. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go low for a bit here. There we go. Auer looking to make a move. Getting by Berman, I think. Georgi going wide. That's sort of between our two drivers. It's not really going to affect us at all. I might as well go low and neutral here on Hughes and just get back a little bit of fuel. He's the one that's doing the worst on it in any case. There we go. See if that gets the job done. Go for it. See if we can make something happen. 5 laps to go. It's not looking good. I mean, probably backed off enough fuel now that we're gonna have just a little bit to burn, but it's not really gonna help here. Caught up now. The problem is we don't have. Yeah, I'm just going to back off the tires and try to go after it again one more time at the end. Hughes is just going to stick with conserve just because he's in a very comfortable position. Still sticking right behind Berman. And Martin behind giving chase now. Look, we're going to lose a spot despite Martin's mechanical issues. So just a bunch of dreck here for Szabo. You were supposed to, my goodness, and now somebody else is going by us, Giovinardi. So we're just falling off the cliff here at the end. Despite driving pretty well, and Szabo is supposed to be an upgrade. I'm beginning to think it's only 2 races. I'm going to wait a little bit more before really deciding, but I'm beginning to think I wasted my money here. We'll go neutral for the final lap. So I don't think it's going to matter. An hour, only an 11th. So unless he moves up a spot, that's not going to matter either. Meanwhile, here's Jake Hughes with several seconds on either side. And if you take away, he might have been able to beat Decker. If you take, it would have been really close if you take away that pit stop screw up. Either way, third, he's happy with it. Szabo trying to get the inside on the final turn. Fighting with Berman. And just does get Berman, but still not happy with it. Hour and 11th. So overall, a positive race for us in securing promotion, but it definitely could have gone much better. And we've got demotion for Georgi for breaking the rules. Demotion for Nagy for breaking the rules. It doesn't help any of our drivers. We're still 3rd and 15th. We get the pole. Chadwick for Mulsanne gets the fastest lap bonus. And Benani got a couple of drive-through penalties. Our still in 11th. Suri with the win. Decker in 2nd. Hughes will take the 3rd position on the podium. Still 1st overall. No change. Well, Szabo actually drops a couple spots to 23rd. Our lead expands a little bit. Not by a lot. And, you know, starting to bunch up behind with Comtoyu and Ivan Muller breathing down the neck of AMG. We're in a good position, but there is still a lot of work to do. Overall decent form, but boy was it up and down. I'd much prefer consistent. Wow. Look at Hughes's stats. They're dropping. Oh, that's because he doesn't get the Tondela bonus anymore. Okay. I was getting a little bit crazy there. But once again, he's still not getting any boost to his potential. I think he's getting a little bit unlucky with that. We finished 3rd overall. We're happy with that. And 829K. Basically covers the expense of buying our parts. And 5 races left. We're going to be heading off to Munich before we can come back to Tondela. My biggest concern is Zsolt Szabo actually going to contribute anything useful? Or is he just going to putz around? All of a sudden they think we have the 3rd best car on the grid. What happened there? Yeah, that's fickle, but I think it's finally deciding to recognize what we are actually doing here. Still worse drivers and low HQ, so it's not like we don't have work to do, and pit crew remains a little below average. Staff is good though, so they like their new mechanic hire. In any case, it'll be off to Germany next, where we try to inch closer and closer to the championship in the WTCR and gaining that promotion. That'll be next time. Till then, thanks for watching, everybody. More Motorsport Manager will continue.